Welcome to the Oxford United official podcast, another special magnetic edition. Our special guest today is Johnny Mullins. Asking the questions, we've got Jack Brooks and Kath Falconer as ever. There will be special guests popping in as we go along. Johnny, how are you keeping?
Yeah, not too bad. Homeschooling's keeping me busy. Google is my saviour. My eldest daughter's 11 and I'll be completely honest, I don't know a good 85 to 90% of her maths questions. So I can't lie on that one. But I think she's cottoned on now. When I disappear for 2 minutes after she asks me what the question is, she knows something's not right. But
go off, Google answer, come back.
Google answer, yeah, come back. Yeah, I'm still getting it wrong though with Google, so she's not. No, but it's keeping busy. But can't complain. There's there's a lot worse positions. So we've got a nice garden. So thankfully the weather's been good, so we've been getting out there every day. Even if it's raining, I just send them out there just for a bit of peace and quiet, really, Chris. So just stand out in the rain.
Are you missing the football? You're no longer a footballer, I understand. So are you missing it terribly?
I am missing it. Not as probably much as I thought I would be, to be honest. I had a good run at it, but obviously nothing will ever, get that feeling again of walking out on a Saturday or winning big football matches or winning promotion. There's no replacement for that, but I am enjoying things that I did miss out when I played football. So I get to spend a lot more time with the family, with the kids. On a Saturday where I used to be kicking a football, I'm now officially a taxi driver. So I think it's netball to dance to horse riding or something along them lines. But I did put a bit of weight on, I won't lie, but since this lockdown's gone over, for my hours exercise, I'll make the most of it and get myself with my headphones on and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. But no, I'm enjoying it, but as I said, it'll never be the same not playing, but I have to try and put it in a box.
Yeah, not easy. Now I'm going to hand it over to you two on the left of my screen, Jack and Kath. What questions have we got today?
Yeah, well, we've had pages and pages worth from fans. So before I jump in, I'll toss over to Jack in case he's got one. Otherwise, I might just go for.
I'll just get the ball rolling to take it back to when you joined Oxford back in 2012. I know you initially joined in loan, but I don't know if you just want to talk about how it all came about and what your thoughts were at Oxford as a club at the time.
Well, I was at Rotherham under the. Where can I put him? Under Steve Evans. It wasn't my favourite person in the world, to be honest. And it soon became apparent that I was sort of surplus to requirements. And I got a call from Alistair Lane, who used to be the sports scientist, and said that Chris was interested in taking me at Oxford on loan. And to be honest, I jumped at the chance. And as soon as I walked in the door and met Chris, I think I met him on the Friday and I played on the Saturday. I've played at quite a few clubs, but I think every now and then you come to a place and it feels as close to home as home can be. And for me, that was Oxford. I didn't want to leave to go back to Rotherham at the time. I made that very clear. I was very happy where I was. Worked out okay. I guess we got promoted at Rotherham at the end of that season, but I was never really wanted there under the management, and thankfully Chris come back in and bought me, and I come back permanently. So it was a place I always felt people took to me. People around the club were very friendly, and football went well for the most part of it, obviously. And I was thankful that Chris brought me to the club, and the other managers persisted with playing me. So I must have been doing something okay.
I want to ask you a question.
You're a class, mate. You're a class.
No, don't get carried away, Brooksy. Don't get carried away. I want to ask you a question, Miles. Before you came with Rotherham, and you were the long throw man, weren't you, for Rotherham?
I think I had the shortest long throw in Football League history.
Yeah, that was it.
That was me. Yeah.
Mr. Wilder had a brilliant plan because he knew you could throw it, or used to throw it quite far. So he put all the advertising signs up on the pitch to restrict your run-up. Were you aware when you played that game they had done that?
Yeah. No. I mean, I was playing under. Yeah, you knew there was the little subtle tricks. Yes, that happened. Yes. No, I couldn't throw it anyway. It was all a ruse. I used to try and get people as far away so I could get the ball back and normally kick out of play. Really, but no. Yeah, we knew the tricks. But yes, I remember that one.
Right, over to you two. Sorry, I'll butt out again.
That's all right. While we're on managers, we've had a lot of the questions we had in were asking about working under Michael Appleton and Chris Wilder and about the differences between them. I wonder if you could tell us. Obviously, you talked about Chris bringing you to the club.
Yeah. Two very good managers. I mean, obviously, Chris has done unbelievably well to be where he is now. And it's great to see him. And some of the interviews you see by Chris on Match of the Day or Sky are the interviews not the interviews, the words and the terminologies he'd use with us when we was there. Chris always give you a really good platform to go and perform. You know, he was a very good coach, and for me personally, a very good man managed me. He took to me quite well, and he just believed in his players. You know, he said, "Listen, you're good football players. Go out there and do what I know you can do." You know, he obviously set the structure. I do think if Chris would have stayed one season when he left, I think we possibly would have got promoted that season, in my opinion. But obviously, all if buts and maybes. And there was a few times where I nearly joined Chris again after he left, and I'd left Oxford by then. But he was a good manager, and Michael was a very good manager. I mean, he set a stall out for us in the pre-season of the season we got promoted. It probably started the last 15, I remember it vividly. It started the last 15 games of the previous season where there was I don't know what to put it really, like a mantra of 5 points per game. We was going to approach each part of the season in different little blocks, and if we achieved certain point targets, we would ultimately be promoted. And to be honest, I can't really argue because it worked to a T. I really enjoyed working that way. I'd never done it before, and after that, many managers had tried it. Just something that, I mean, they were both very good coaches fundamentally, and they had good teams around them, which helped. I mean, I must say a big shout out to Dan Bond because I love him dearly. He was great to have around the place for both sets of coaching staff. But no, there was good people always behind the scenes at Oxford. The managers and the coaches were brilliant, and the same seems happening now. And hopefully you can finish this season and get another promotion on the club CV.
There will be people out there who are unaware of Dan Bond. I wish I was unaware of Dan Bond, but he was a sports scientist, wasn't very good at that. He turned to video analysis, but the influence he had around the club as kind of head of light entertainment cannot be undervalued, can it?
No, he was huge. I mean, I guess you unsung heroes or people behind the scenes that you don't know. We could lose, you know, and in that season, thankfully, we didn't lose too many, but or have a poor game, and you'd come in on a Monday, and you know, it's a game of football at the end of the day. So I know it, as important as it is, but he'd always be the one to lift people and he'd get people going. And sometimes, if necessary, in the video, he could certainly let you know if you hadn't done something right. So no, he's a great character, Bondy, and I wish him every success. But he is a pain in the backside, Chris. You are right there. So there's no denying that one.
Singing, I suppose.
Singing was unbelievable. The Christmas singing that he used to do was brilliant. I mean, I guess you've got to imagine that, you know, all of us are probably not brilliant with our musical taste. So him standing up like that wasn't a bad thing to listen to.
Oh, but songs from the musicals, you'd be sitting there. I'd sit next to the video analysis room, and suddenly you'd hear him singing "As Long as He Needs Me" from the musical Oliver, and I'd be thinking, what? How can that? No, it doesn't fit in. Never stopped him.
Yeah, he was special. He's special, Chris.
Yes,
very special.
I've got one here, which I'll actually, with Jake potentially joining us if he can figure out the technology later on. I'll ask you this one before he does. Richard Hales has asked how hard it was for you to take the captaincy for the Johnson's Paint Trophy final, and also were you surprised that you were allowed to be released when you went to Luton? But yeah, if we start with the captaincy, was that a hard? Because I mean, Jake, a lot of people still call Jake Skip, so he was very much the skipper of that team.
Yeah, very much. I mean, from the moment I walked in the door, Jake was probably the first one to come over to me, and I think I called him Skip. And when I speak to him now, I still do. A very unusual situation, to be honest. I mean, leading up to the game, there was a few lads with niggly injuries, and I never anticipated it, to be honest. It wasn't something that I ever anticipated happening. It wasn't something that you looked at. I mean, I think I'd come off the week before injured, so I didn't think I was going to play. But I guess with football, you're paid to do a job, but ultimately it was uncomfortable when I found out. First of all, and I do look back on that game, having lost. It was lovely to play there and walk out, but I don't think I'll ever look back at it with too many fond memories, to be completely frank, because it's a very hard one to look at, having lost the game. Ideally, I mean, myself and Jake had played, I'd say, the vast majority of that season together, but Chey did come in and done very well. So that's probably why I'll never be a manager, because them decisions cannot be easy, to be completely honest with you. Having left Oxford, I was surprised, to be honest. I thought I would get another deal, but as I said, football, Chey had come in and been brilliant, and you can only look at what he's gone on and done since he's left. So that's football, really. It happens. You have to move on quickly. We'll do this, Chris.
Yeah.
Hi, Mac, how you doing?
That's ruined it. Look, Alex MacDonald is a live and breathe. Do you want to explain to everybody what you've been doing while you're late to the party?
I've been setting up a trampoline for my daughter. I
It's
don't know
not
if you
for your
can see it.
daughter.
Not for my daughter. Well, she's there,
You locked her outside.
but it's there. So, it's a nightmare.
Macca, you know, because I'm very honest, there was a lot of comments about the trampoline was being put up for you, and that how big was your fences? Because people were saying if you jumped up and down. That's all I'm going to say, Macca. I'm out of it. I'm out. I ain't saying nothing else.
Yeah, okay. Let's just forget about that.
All right,
was every-
Alex.
I'm well. I'm trying to keep on top of fitness as much as I can at this point. As me and John know, trying to keep slim, fit, professional athlete when you're not in work can be quite difficult at times.
Mm. It's true, yeah. Sometimes you got the need for some chips, wine, gin and tonic, chocolate crisps.
Yeah.
I mean, we was everything beer. But we was the sports scientist's favourite too for the body fat testing, because we
Which
sure.
ultimately cost us our Oxford United careers.
Mac, I didn't want to say that, but I did feel we were just on that question of why I got let go, and I was basically saying that my body fat raised too much too quick. So I think it was after we went away in Ibiza that my body fat spiked. I don't know what happened, but
and then we just couldn't really recover from that.
yeah, I'm still waiting to recover. It just ain't happened yet.
Oh,
Did you not get anyone else on, Chris?
No, they heard you were on, and the waiting room emptied. No, there's a couple of other special guests coming on. Skip's, it's one of his kids' birthdays, so he'll be with us soon. And as for Danny Hilton, there was much discussion whether he would work the technology to get on here. What's your angle on that, Macca? Do you see him getting on?
I think a lot of people know Danny Hilton is IQ, etc.
Mm.
They're not the best, but I think he's had long enough in lockdown now. I'm genuinely sure he knows how to work Zoom, and if he doesn't, that's a real issue.
Before we started this, I was just telling Moles the day that a talking dog had been on Britain's Got Talent, and Hiltz wasn't having it, that it was a ventriloquist. He was absolutely convinced it was a talking dog. Is that the stupidest thing you've ever seen him do?
No. No. There's plenty of other things that I've seen Hiltz do that will shock a lot of people, but one you can't really allow in the public eye, I'd say.
The stupidest one, I think, was keeping his hair for so long.
Have you seen him shave it off? Have you seen the state of him now?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from.
Score a goal, he used to do that with his fringe straight away, and then put his fringe down. Oh God!
But even when he was joining the celebrations, he'd do that to sort of make sure the pictures were okay. Yeah.
Not seeing the wing back. Mulls, your hairline's still fairly strong, isn't it?
Strong, isn't it? Obviously, 32 and that strong. How are you, my bro?
We're all right. It's just crazy, this situation, isn't it?
And I was just saying before this homeschooling and that, I don't know any of the kids' answers, mate. I'm struggling, mate.
You said homeschooling.
Yeah.
Do that in your household, do you?
No, just sit them in the living room and say, right,
Yeah.
shut up for 4 hours.
Yeah, no, we've found it hard. Chloe's dyslexic, so when you don't know how to teach a dyslexic kid,
Yeah.
it's challenging, hard. I don't know. You've got to have a patience of a saint, and I think it's given me a newfound respect for teachers to what they actually have to do to sit down with 20 kids, and obviously some are different, some are at different levels. It's been hard.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there, mate. So you said that respect for teachers, how they do it with the patience for the kids, and that is just,
Right.
I take me after them. And I think the thing I keep looking at most days is when the schools will go back. That's my that's my most Googled question at the minute.
Yeah.
It used to be like obviously the symptoms of coronavirus, but it's moved on to when will schools go back. That's where I'm at the minute.
Hang on.
We'll go straight into school holidays, won't we?
Yeah, if I just
think so.
Hang on. Let's see who I'm admitting in here.
And a big
Look who it is.
Oh, Chey, the Birmingham crew!
Ain't nobody. Here he is.
Uh-oh, we've got no audio from Chey.
Chey's got no
You got that much money, must be past an iPhone 3.
Come on, Chey. Ask him to growl when he comes on, Mac. I used to growl.
Hang on, he's getting his missus to put him on. Hang on. There you go. Someone's got to help him.
Oh, audio.
Stick the audio button on.
His hair's looking all right, though, isn't it?
There's a lot
Just
of
tap
it.
your head. Boom, 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 boom.
Just imagine him saying, "Oh, do you know what's not working?
Babe, what's happening here?
What's going on here then, look?
Babe, stick the audio on for us, will you?
I'm from Dudley."
You do know that he can hear you. He just can't
No, I
speak.
can tell by that facial expression he can't hear. He's just,
Get the abuse in now, then.
yeah. You've seen the size of Big Chey.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I just thought when I seen that Uncle Moles and Matt Daddy was involved, you can't. If you're getting a band back together, you can't have Blue without Simon Webb. Do you know what I mean?
Go on, Big Chey.
How's recovery going, Dunko?
It's all right, mate. Just been training today, and I was on my way back to my place, and Chris just gave me a text, said if I want to join in. So, but recovery's decent, mate. I'm like 9 weeks post operation. I'll be 10 weeks on Friday, so everything's going well. I'm walking, I'm doing different exercises, and I'm progressing every day, proper reception, etc. So I'm able to do my rehab, and it hasn't really put a stop to for me to carry on with my rehab, basically. So everything's going great. Yeah.
Good. Hey, how unlucky was it though, mate? I seen it.
Mate. Mate, I haven't even watched it back. I can't really get myself to watch it back. I'll probably watch it back when I'm fully recovered. But
Yeah,
I mean,
don't Chey, don't look at it.
these things happen in football. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, I've been lucky I haven't really had major injuries. So this is probably my first big injury, and I'm built like an ox. I know I'll come back stronger anyway. Do you know what I mean? So no problem. How are you guys? Go on.
You've got to speak to myself, like with the abs and the.
What are you saying, lad?
I'm just saying, obviously, your physique's similar to mine, isn't it? Like quite, you know. Why is everyone laughing?
I was scared to come on.
Don't make me get my top off.
Please, Macca, please.
I was scared to come on with Macaron because he's always come after me in training.
Nah, never. only for that gilet. That's what it was, man.
I've still got that gilet, lad.
Nah, listen, your gear's got better. I've been watching on Instagram, man. Your gear's better.
I've been watching the best, mate. I've been watching the best.
You learn from him.
Yeah. How are you anyway? How are you, Macca?
All right, mate. Same old shit. Just trying to get through all this stuff. Mate, I've turned into a painter and decorator, honestly. The amount of rooms and banisters and things I've painted in my house is a joke. I've done so many house things. Grass is like Wembley, though, outside.
You've been
the
doing
Lions,
any
mate. You got the Lions, yeah?
I was like, nah, yeah, man, they're straight as well, man.
Have you been doing any belly slides?
A couple. We actually ordered a slip and slide net for my daughter, for me, but I've just said that she likes to use it. I'm going to lube that up with some fairy liquid, mate, and I'll be flying down there soon.
He ain't changed, mate. He's not changed one bit.
Somewhere
How
in the middle of
about
this.
you, Morsey? How are you?
Oh, you
Morsey?
taking over now, Dunkley. Look at you.
Big Chey's in the out. You can't tell him he can't ask questions, Chris. I'm good.
Go on,
I'm good.
go. I'll just sit here. I'll go and have a wee.
What's going on? Are we recording and that? Like,
Yeah, it's all right. I'll edit it to make you look intelligent, Chey, like you used to.
Yeah, we've just been jabbering away with Johnny for a little bit. I'll open with the same question. Hi, Chey. Alex, by the way, nice to meet you.
Hi, mate. Oh, yeah.
Initial question: why Oxford when you joined Oxford back whenever you both joined?
Go on, Dunk, you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so for me, it was my introduction into league football. So I had one or two clubs, and Oxford was a club that, you know, I thought it was a club that was on its way up. We had a good manager in place in Michael Appleton, and you know, I bought into the vision that he sold to me, and it was the first my introduction into the football league. So it was a no-brainer for me, and the rest is history. I know we ended up getting a bit of success, and I think my prediction was right. We were on the way up, and at the moment it seems like they're still on the way up. So I'm kind of happy to be a part of that journey, and that was the reason why I joined Oxford.
I think for me, Jack, it was I was at a good club at the time in Burton, and we were nearing the top of the league, and it looked as though we were going to get promoted, which we did going on to do in that year. But for me, I was at a point in my career. I just had my little girl. She was quite young at the time. Burton weren't really offering me a new contract as such. I had 6 months left on my contract, and at the time, Oxford was starting to put a bit of money into the club. They had a vision. They had a real short-term goal as to what they wanted to do, and they had a long-term goal. It was a proper setup, a proper football club, a great city, and it was something that, you know, I'd been living away from my missus when I was at Burton. I'm a little girl, so I thought it was something that we could all, a big new start, a fresh start. But I wasn't just going somewhere for a longer contract. I was going somewhere with a project in place, with definite goals, which matched my ambitions. And it was just, you know, it ticked all the right boxes. And, you know, like Big Chey said, it was, it all came to fruition with a very, very successful couple of years that we had down there.
Awesome.
Yes. Somebody's asked a question actually for you, Macca, about that, about leaving Burton, who were obviously did end up getting promoted, and I think were possibly with top when you left to join us, and we were struggling at the time. How much of you obviously talked about the family aspects, but did Michael Appleton himself play a big part in that? How much of a role did he as a manager play?
Yeah, definitely. Well, when I didn't speak to Michael Appleton until I actually signed. It was always through a guy called Mark Ashton. Well, you'll know Mark well. And a guy called Luke Wareham, who was like his assistant. And they basically told me the visions, and obviously we were flying high at the time with Burton. But Burton, this is no disrespect to Burton, because they went on to do great things after I left them.
No coincidence there, Macca.
Well, I think if you look at every single club that I've joined, apart from Mansfield, I've always left them in a better position than what they first signed in. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that, whatever. Anyway, yeah, Burton was obviously doing well, but it's a smaller club. It had a limitation as to where the actual ambition was, and I think by going into the Championship, I think they probably went somewhere a little bit bigger than they thought they were ever going to. But with Oxford, there's not a roof on it. The club's a massive club. It's a club that I believe will go all the way up. They'll definitely get to the Championship. You know, it's unfortunate what's happened this year. I thought they were getting momentum at the right time of the season, and they really started motoring on. And it was obviously with what's happened, it's a real shame that that's come to an end. But it was just a club that was just the pull of it, with everything that was there, with the project that they were putting in place. with the owner that they had. Daryl was great as well. It just ticked every single box, and a lot of people were saying to me to leave it for 6 months and go on a free in the summer after getting promoted with Burton. And I could have went that way, and it probably might have been financially a little bit better for me if I was to have left on a free. But I think the security of having a long-term contract at Oxford, like I said, with all the boxes being ticked in terms of where they wanted to go, short-term, long-term ambitions, and how everyone sold the club, and every single person that I asked about Oxford United, there was never a bad word said by anyone. A great club. The fans are brilliant. What an area to live in. What a part of the world to live. So, it was one that I couldn't really turn down, and I'm absolutely made up that I did have the 2 and a bit years that I did have down there.
Is it quite unusual, this is probably for all three of you, to have, like you said, when you're ticking all the boxes of what you're looking for in a move, particularly for like a League One, League Two team, to have like that culture and a strong manager and a vision that they know they can commit to for a few years? Is that quite unusual?
I think so now, because I think in football, especially when you look at some of the smaller clubs, they're really just trying to sign you, and a lot of people at our level are just probably happy just to go somewhere and just have another year's contract or 2 years contract. I mean, Chey's obviously gone on to bigger and better things, which is it's a lot different there. For a championship club to sign a player, Chey's ability now, they've got to sell him it. It's got to be that. And a lot of people in League One, League Two, they don't have it. They just want to get from year to year. And if they do get that lucky year where they get a team together that gels and has got that, what we had at Oxford, that team togetherness and stuff. But for someone to have that project in League Two, I mean, when I first joined Mansfield, that was the project there, and obviously it's not come to fruition as yet. But I think Oxford, everything, there was that ambition, there was goal setting, there was a real drive, and it came from top to bottom, from right through the chairman, through the chief exec, through the manager. And I think when Daryl took over and when Michael got the job, and it didn't start off quite well, I think there was a bit of a doom and gloom over the top of the club at the time, and there was a massive turnover in players. And obviously, I came in as one of the start in that January. I think Scarzy joined at the same time as when I did.
Yeah.
And we finished the season quite strongly. And then in the summer, I think obviously we got older Roofy back end of the season, and then obviously we signed him in the summer, and in that summer, the whole place, the whole of Oxford turned, and it just turned positive. And with the recruitment that we got in the summer and then again in the January, obviously it turned out to be an unbelievable year.
I think being there before Macca and say Scarzy come, I think when the two boys come, I think that was when it sort of like the turnaround in the big shift of, you could see something was happening. I don't think at that time when they come in that we anticipated it would be that quick in terms of the next season. But I think then, as you said, Roofy come in, and then the momentum built pretty quick. And then I quite like Michael's way of having a plan, every 5 games hitting a target. I know it was, I'd never done it before, but you could see that there was a plan in place, and we all did get on really well. Obviously, there was some good characters, and we had a lot of laughs behind the scenes. And I think that constitutes being a good team when you all get on well behind the scenes, and it builds up that special relationship. And it ended up okay. I don't remember how it ended up too well because I was pretty drunk that night. Obviously, Mac and but for it to finish the way it did was ideal, really, because it was a hell of a lot of hard work put into it, which you don't see behind the scenes. But I think Mac was right. I think it's not very often that you get a club that builds and looks to build and build for the future, especially at the certain level. But obviously, Big Chey speaks for himself because he's so big, and I don't want to fight him again.
Oh, you're so immature, man.
No, yeah, I ain't changed, Chey.
I know, I can see. Like obviously to touch on what Moulsey and Mac has said. I think Oxford, the time when I got to Oxford, and I can kind of compare to the clubs that I've been at, it was ahead of its time. We had like a psychologist that used to come in, which for a League Two club, that's kind of unheard of. I think it might be more it might be happening more now, but at the time, it wasn't like a psychologist where players could actually go and speak, and that was confidential. And, you know, we speak on things that are outside the football, and I think that's a big thing now. The psychological approach of the footballer, it's a big thing now. So I think definitely, just to touch on what the boys were saying, it was ahead of its time, and the vision was really big, and we all believed in it, and that's why I think we ultimately got the success that we got when we got promotion.
Yeah.
Did you mentioned about a strong changing room there, and together, like as a group of guys that got on, did you do much together off field, like socialise together and get tighter as a group? Like not just in Park End or anything, but
we did. To be fair, mainly it surrounded alcohol. But we had, honestly, and I know the modern day footballer, it's not like you can't go out and have, you know, big piss ups. You can't be doing that regularly. But whenever the time was right for us to do it, we did it. And there was never a case of certain people wouldn't come. It was such a team togetherness. Everyone was there all the time, but it was just a bond that we had in training as well. Like every day was a laugh. We knew when it was time to work, and when we finished our work and we got everything that we needed to out of training sessions or whether it be meetings. I think everyone knew, it was well documented at the time how much that we had meetings and debriefs and post-match analysis on the opposition, and it was massive, and it all played a part of us ultimately being together as a unit and as one. But a lot of the time, no, we did have some good bit. I mean, like when we got through to Wembley after beating Millwall, there was 95% of the players were upstairs, and we got drunk with the chairman, with fans, with Chris Williams. It like at other clubs and places I've been at, it's just things like that are just unheard of. No matter how successful you are, you're still in part of the season. I honestly believe that all them times, I mean, the start again, the pre-season, when we were in, where was it, Chris, where we went pre-season?
Well, there's the Austria one, walking into Clums's. Do you remember that, Mo? I was walking into there and there's 100 fans, Oxford fans on a pre-season tour.
No, I don't remember that, Chris.
No,
that was terrible, man.
That was after.
I didn't walk in, Chris. I was dragged in, all right?
Mac, you might have been there. Mac, was you there?
Mac was there, yeah.
Mac was definitely there. Mac was there.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I was there. No, it was as Mac said, it was the bond between the fans and the, you know, the staff at the football club was very close, and I've never had it since. I didn't have it before, and it just all obviously culminated in everyone having that special feeling, and I guess that's why obviously you enjoyed it so much, because you wasn't just celebrating with people that you worked with, you were celebrating with friends. Sorry, the cockapoo's here, obviously. Yes. Yeah.
It was just everyone was made up for each other. It was just so many things just went right, and obviously being at clubs beforehand and afterwards, when you've got that bond, when you've got that group of people and professionals, because we were professional. I know we said that we did have a few, you know, piss ups together and stuff, but when there's obviously a time and a place, but you're looking at the group that we put together, how well we got it, the recruitment was unbelievable, and I think Michael made a massive point of, there was this book that he swore by, the All Blacks. What was it called again?
It was the All Blacks.
Legacy, weren't it? Yeah.
And he had this rule of no dickheads. The second he was signing players, and one person said a bad thing about that person, no, it doesn't matter how good of a player they were. If someone said that, you know, we weren't happy or they weren't happy with his attitude at one point, straight away, regardless of how good the player was, he just didn't sign him.
Yeah.
And he so right, and the group that he got together was special. It really was.
Yeah. Yeah, there was discipline within the group, as well as we had our fun times. There was discipline in the group, and I think that was based off the All Blacks. I think again, to Gaff, who was big on that, and you know, doing the changing rooms in the away changing room, making sure the changing rooms after games were clean and stuff like that. But to touch on it, the no dickheads rule, that was the big one. You know, we didn't have anyone that was out of the group, and it was a big thing. You know, the camaraderie around the group was big, and I think that's what pulled us through as well. We all liked each other's company.
I think also as well, you know, when people weren't playing, obviously,
yeah,
somehow managed to he kept everyone together. And I've been at a lot of clubs where it's the opposite, because obviously you're never happy when you're not playing, but it always felt like it was one group rather than 11 and 5 or 6 on the bench, wherever it was. I think that was quite an important thing. Obviously, none of us like not playing, but we all had our periods of when we weren't in the team for whatever reason, and he kept everyone together. And it was like, as the lad said, there was no dickheads. You know, if your mate's doing well and the team's winning, and ultimately at the end of the season you're going to be rewarded. So
I think our group was really tight, and I think when you brought in players into the group, that had to fit. Now, like you said, you could be a really good player, but if you didn't fit in a group, the manager wasn't looking to force a player into the group. So, you know, I think Mac is right there. You know, it goes to show a player can go to another team and end up scoring how many goals and having a better time, but he may have fitted in that team. But our group was, you know, it was an open group as well. It's not like we didn't welcome people into the group. It wasn't like that. It was just a case of we had that, you know, we needed people to work with us as well. So when we wanted to work, when it was work time, make sure that we're working. When it was fun time, then no problem, we can have fun. But if you wasn't on that bridge, that's what Michael Appleton used to say. If you wasn't on that bridge, you'd get kicked off, and that's what he used to say. So yeah, just to echo what Michael was saying.
Who policed that, you say, about the attitudes? Was that come from, obviously the signing of players comes from the staff, but was that a changing room thing as much as anything else?
Yeah, it was we had a group of 4 leaders, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And we had like a leadership group, and if there was a problem or if the lads weren't happy with anything, which was rare, if any time the lads weren't happy. But there was the one time where the group noticed something was Armand, and we spoke to the manager, and it was, all right, no problem, you'll go. Simple as. So that was we didn't, the leadership group never really had to do anything, because anything that wasn't right on the training ground was dealt with the players on the training ground. But off the field things, very rarely did we ever have to. The manager always asked us, is there anything right, anything wrong, anything that we can do to help? But there was never really a case. We just had I just remember we had a leadership group of 4 in it. I can't remember who was in it.
Oh, it would have been. It would have been like South Malls, Skip. The more experienced lads.
Well,
yeah, there's some young lads in it, weren't it? He liked to put the onus on the group, didn't he? So like we, as you said, we policed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sam
Long was in it.
Who?
Sam Long, Sam Long would be
Longy, yeah.
Longy was in it, yeah.
Cool. In that season, because obviously it's the anniversary of the Wickham game on Thursday, but at what point in that season did you know as players, or did you believe that promotion would come and that it would be automatic as well? Was it, Chey, when the ball hit the back of the net from your header, or did you believe before going into that game?
No, I'll be honest with you. I believe that our team was going all the way before the game. You know, I know we didn't have it on paper that we was getting promoted, but I just thought our team was the team that he built for that League 2 team to get promoted. We were I thought we were strong. I thought we were. I know we finished. Was it second to Northampton? Yeah. We were saying that we were the best team in the league. I think. I know. You can say, you know, at the end of the season, you know, you didn't finish first. But we had that rivalry with Northampton, if I remember correctly. It used to always be a bit of a derby, do you know what I mean? So we generally believe, definitely for me, I believe, and I think it was a whole group thing, that we thought that we were going to get promoted. Obviously, for me, scoring the goal after, I think, second half, it kind of felt real then, that we're actually going to achieve this, because we knew it wasn't, we had achieved, we didn't know we hadn't achieved it, but deep down in the heart, we knew we were going to achieve it. So once that goal went in, it was kind of break down, shut the door, break down the doors, and it was one hell of a feeling for me personally. So, but I always thought we were going to get promoted. I don't know. I think it'll be the same for Mullins and Mac. They can speak on that. But I thought it was
definitely.
the squad that we had.
We were. I think we were pretty relentless during the season. I think you can look back now and think, yeah, we was always going to do it. But I think there was a genuine belief from very early that we were going to achieve promotion. Obviously, the way it was set up was we had to hit certain point tallies, per games, and we was always on track for that. But I personally thought during that season we'd have got promoted with a little bit more to spare, because I think of the squad we had and the players that we had, and some of the results that we got, i.e. Swansea in the FA Cup, just showed the quality of players that we had. But to do it the way we did it on the final day with Big Chey getting his head on one is never a bad way to do it.
There you go.
Go on, bang, you ain't going to miss him. So I think to do it in front of your own crowd is bang on. So it was just brilliant to finish it off that way. And
I think when you look back now and you see the end of the day, the end of last day of the season, throughout that whole season, I genuinely thought we were going to, excuse my French, piss it, because we were that. And I know they finished with, I don't know how many more points than what we did, but in terms of a football team, we were miles better than that.
I think just to touch on that, Maka, I think we played a lot more games. I think we got to the final of the JPT, which is a checker trade now, and we done well in the was it the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Was that the Swansea
fifth round or something?
So the amount of games we were playing was as if we were playing. We was in so many competitions and we done well in those competitions, and we had to focus on the league. I feel like if we solely just focused on the league, we would have, in Macca's word, pissed it. Do you know what I mean? And I generally believe we were the better side. I think a player is a mate of mine, Rodney MacDonald. He played in that Northampton team, and he put something up a few weeks ago on Twitter, just saying, what a team that was. And I retweeted it saying, but we were the best team. Obviously, it's a little bit of banter, but we were the best team in the league. Do you know what I mean? And I just put the fishing rod, caught him, took a picture with the fish. You know what I mean? And he didn't really bite, to be honest with you. But I generally believe we were the better team. We were the best team in the league. And, you just have to look at the, I mean, I wasn't even a starter in that at the start of the season. I was looking on. I was kind of learning my trade from Uncle Mullins and Skippy. Do you know what I mean? And that just showed you how strong the side was. Do you know what I mean? So the team was really strong, and I think we were the best team in the league, but without a shadow of a doubt.
In terms of footballing team, we were the best. You can't take it away from Northampton. They had a proper team of men of proper experience, full of good players at our level, and some of them have gone on to do great things. But in terms of a footballing team, I thought we were the best team. We didn't just hang on against Swansea's and these other teams. We played them in a football match, and we were better. But going back to the promotion thing, I thought, now I look back, it was written in the stars. May 7th is my missus' birthday, and it was her 30th birthday that day. And we had a party at Jake's house afterwards, and we had everything set up. And there was I think we played Luton. We got beat 3-2. We went away to Newport, drew 1-1, and I missed both of them games. I had tonsillitis. Obviously, I started the last three, and we won the last three. Anyway, at that point, because I knew that we had the party coming up, and that party, we didn't get promoted on that day. That party would have been nothing. It would have been null and void. We wouldn't have been going.
No.
So we finished the game. Obviously, got promoted. Had my missus' 30th, and then had one of the best summers of our lives. And I'll never forget it ever.
Yeah.
No, second that one. Yeah, it was a good summer. Yeah.
What were your What were your favourite highlights from that season? Personal highlights. Obviously, getting promoted is a massive one, but was there any other sort of massive highlight for you personally?
I've got a good highlight. So when we had when was the awards, Chris? Was it the day after?
Oh no, I've got the video of that. Yeah, you and Circum at the awards.
Yeah, but that's not the highlight. So we went out, right? We've gone out all day in Oxford, and everyone had their suits at the ground. So we've gone back to the ground with about half an hour to spare. Now, I can't remember who it was, right? And I don't think anyone knows this, Chris. We went in to get changed, and I said, let's go out on the pitch. Let's go and have a knock around on the pitch. But I said, like, we can't just go out there. I said, we need to do it naked. So there was me. I think it was. I might even have a video of this. You can't have it, but I've got a video of it. There was me, Jake. Hiltz went out in his boxes though. Fucking idiot. Jake. I think Ruffles might have been there.
He'd have definitely been there with that body.
He needs no invite to be naked, Josh. He never needs an invite.
And I think there was one more. And I remember we just reenacted like a goal that we'd scored on there. Anyway, so we ran down to where all the fans are around that goal. I can't remember what it's called, that stand. Ran down, we scored a goal, and we just did a naked pylon at the end. It was fucking brilliant.
This is facts as well, you know, because I've seen the video.
Oh my God. Nobody's ever talked about it. Yeah.
I've got bad news, gentlemen. There's a special guest joining.
Bondi!
Oh, look at this dickhead!
Hey! How are we?
How are we all?
That beard really doesn't suit you.
Thing is, he was growing that 6 months before lockdown came, and that's still all he's got.
How can you go from a 9 to an 11 just with a bit of facial hair? That's incredible.
Don't put your head out the window when you're driving the car. That'll blow off.
How'd you move, Macca? How'd you move him?
How'd you mute? What a dickhead.
Oh, God.
Right, Moles, all right, Shazy?
Shut up,
Oh,
Bundy.
Bondi, you right?
How are you?
You're not playing beer pong. Get out of here.
Get rid of that, Bundy. It's pathetic.
Get rid of what?
Oh, my God. He's having it as well. That's the thing. He's
We're
actually
trying
having
to have a serious discussion here about our promotion winning season, and then you just turn up with your fucking bum fluff.
You do look like you've been rejected by the in-betweeners. What is that?
Oh,
So, yeah, so I was the hardest working person at the club that year. We got promoted.
With what?
What?
What did you do?
I was hardest working.
You just done whatever Michael Appleton told you to do.
I thought Liam McWhirter did the work.
And wouldn't you?
Make me a tea.
it.
Clean that whiteboard.
you got most of it that year, I think.
Well, I got some right. Shazy, are you back fit now?
Nah, mate. I'm not far though.
That's his leg 9 weeks ago, and you're saying he's
Not far, mate.
Are you
9
still
weeks.
pissed?
I know why you're saying that. It's because I'm moving well, man.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I see you moving.
Nah, I'm doing fine, mate. I'm not fit yet, but a few more months. Nearly coming to the halfway point, but
Decent.
everything's good. Everything's good.
And Moles, have you forgiven him for ruining your career?
A little bit.
What do you mean I didn't really? I learned my trade from Walls. How do you mean?
Yeah, I know you let your trade from Moles, and then you went way above him.
Which ultimately cost him his.
It cost him his Oxford United career.
Killed me, innit? I had to go to Luton, Chey. Come on, man. That's...
Yes,
Luton's done well, man.
I know, yeah. No, they've gone a bit downhill since someone went there, but it's all right. How's your videos coming on, Bundy? All right?
Yeah, they're coming along well, very well.
Yeah. How's Super Dan?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's very good, actually.
Is he? Is he
He's
back
meant to
fit?
be on
He's back fit now, yeah.
Is he?
He's meant to be on here, Bondi. Do you think he'll work the technology out?
Who, Hiltz?
Yeah.
Nah, not
Why
a
is
chance.
Helps actually trying to join?
He's been trying to join since... Yeah, no.
He's been trying to join since we've been on.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
That is actually helped, you know.
Yeah.
That's helped, for real.
Special kid.
He just messaged me saying, can I go to any phone box to get on this? Right, it's good to see Macca as well. How good's Macca looking?
Just nearly 4.
Oh, mate.
Wait, was there a serious chat going on before I came in?
Yes, mate.
We just discussed.
Not about serious. Just talking about the impact of the staff had, and you hadn't popped up yet. But
Before Bondi ruined this, Kath and Jack, have you got any
Sorry.
proper questions?
Sorry.
Just to get Shey's and Johnny's answers from our previous question, their personal highlight from the 2015-16 season, other than obviously getting
the
promoted.
video was my personal.
What you say? What? Because you was videoing it.
yeah.
Fruity guy, you better stop it. I think on a football thing, I did enjoy the Swansea game. That was a good game. That was the highlight of the season. But I think finishing off at the end of the season the way that we did the final, that will take some beating. But and then also the 3 to 4 weeks after that final thing is a personal highlight of mine. It all just seems to roll into one or 2 days. But I think they're the best times. Obviously, you play the football, you have all the adulation and the thing. But to be together as a tight-knit group, you go out together after 9 months of hard work. It's sort of all, you can sort of release it all and have a good drink, so to speak, if that's your vice or whatever, and you go and enjoy yourself. And it was good. So all of it's my highlight, but the video, filming that was special for me. I got to see a lot of sights.
For me, there's so many highlights, really. You know, like you said, we beat Swansea, and that was mad.
Brentford was
but the main one for me is obviously the promotion, and personal to me, like I said, to get on a score sheet. I mean, my aim's to keep clean sheets and be a defender first, of course, but to get on a score sheet and to make what's the word? To make
Impact.
Yeah, a contribution to getting promoted. That was big for me, and personally as well. An individual thing for me was the Cruyff turn on the JPT finals.
Yeah,
I sold Sam Winner for a dream there.
Slowest Cruyff turn I've ever seen.
But definitely the promotion game was for everything that we worked for, and it was that game that was the highlight for that season.
Bondi, without mentioning the Swindon game, because you've been living off that for 4 years.
Yeah, maybe the Swindon game. Do you know that the best thing about the Swansea game and what Macca said there, the Brentford game, it felt like we weren't like the team in the league below that was going there and just like almost battering the team, booting it long, playing direct sort of thing. We played our way, which was like that was the most impressive thing for me.
Yeah.
Did you come to them games, Bondi?
What's that?
Did you come to them games, or was you?
Were you warming the people up on the bus, or?
Wait, that was me and you. Wait, have you ever played in a squad that has a better group of lads? Like that was unbelievable. I've never ever. I've been in football for like 11 years now, and it's not even got close.
No, I'd have to agree, mate. It was a great group, yeah.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be in good groups, but it's off the field that was big for me as well. We were just so close off the field, man. So
yeah,
it was a good group of lads.
Good to hear. I've got a question for Macca from James Roberts on Twitter about his memories of the game he played versus Swindon, specifically encounters with one Lawrence Vigouroux, and his views and your views on Swindon generally.
Ooh, this is hard on this one.
Keep it clean.
That game was just. It was crazy from start to finish. It was just a mad game. A great tackle from me. I've been even happy about, but that's between me and that Lawrence. Every time I've seen him since, he still doesn't like me.
Right, none of us like him.
He still blames me for getting him sent off. It was mad. It went a little bit silly after that game. To be honest, I won't go into it, but
You're too late, Mac. Rob Hall came on here last week and spilt the beans entirely on what happened in the tunnel afterwards.
Yeah,
It was. It went more than a game of football. It went very personal. It was silly. Listen, we all want to win these local. We want these local rivalries for the fans who were immense to us and were immense to me personally when I was at the club. And, you know, we wanted to win it for them as well, as much as what we wanted to win it for ourselves. And, you know, you've seen it sometimes it can overboil. And then we went to Swindon in the JPT and I got sent off there, my only ever sending off in my career. And as I'm walking the tunnel, that Lawrence was on the bench, as usual, and he was clapping me as I was going off. And I remember he was going for him. Do you remember that? As I was off the pitch and as I was going down the tunnel, he was clapping. And afterwards, Michael Appleton was desperate to get his hands on him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Swindon games, yeah, you know, they're brilliant. What an occasion! As good a rivalry and as good a derby as I've played in, to be honest, if not the best.
I was going to get your thoughts as players on the Oxford Swindon, because obviously as a massive Oxford fan, you always look for the Swindon games, or our record against them in recent years has been 100%. That's last 7 games I think we've beaten them. But it must be immense for you guys to play in. What's it like? Like, do you have to G yourselves up more? Do you have to try and tone you down the emotions going out there?
No, you don't have to G yourself up for any of them games. Whenever the Kassam was a sellout, what a place it is to play football. Yeah. The noise, we knew when there was a sellout. We always knew when one was coming, and obviously when Swindon were coming to town, it was always going to be a sellout. And the occasion doesn't need any warm up. The match itself, you don't need to G yourself up anymore. You cross that white line, and you can hear the noise from the stands and what it means to them people. And you know, for us to be involved in it and be a part of it, and in such a great run against them, you know, we're very fortunate to be involved in that.
Yeah.
So the analyst doesn't have to do a lot, does he?
As per usual. Yeah.
No, I think Maggie gave me enough credit when he closed down Lawrence Vigouroux, so I'm not going to go into that again. Wait, how happy was everyone as well? Hey?
Oh, you told him to do that?
Oh yeah, and he listened to me as well. He got his move to Sunderland. How good was it when we were in that tunnel when we were behind Nels, Appy and Chey? I've never felt stronger.
That was the loudest second rower you've ever heard. Yeah, it was him. Fucking him. Chey, get him.
No, it was mad. It was mad. But we've had enjoyment against Swindon. The derby's been brilliant, man. You know, we've been victorious. So that's good.
Just having a look through the questions we got. One from me, actually. I'll ignore them. You talked earlier about the fact that if we hadn't had the cup competitions, we probably could have pissed the league. But as a fan, personally, getting 5th round of the FA Cup with the Swansea win included, getting to Wembley, regardless of the result at the end, it was a brilliant day. I think most Oxford fans just enjoyed the day. I know Mullins was saying it's not a nice place to lose, but it was a good day. And to still get promoted as a fan, I think I'd rather, obviously with hindsight, the Wycombe game wasn't the greatest for my heart, but with hindsight, that's the way to do it in a season, to get the culmination of so many different things. I don't know personally what you as players feel.
Yeah, I think as a League Two player to do all that in one season, you dream of obviously playing at Wembley. Obviously, it would have been the cherry on top of the cake had we had won there, but having a good FA Cup run like we did, and then finishing it with promotion is ideal. But I guess you always look back with that element of would have been a little bit better if we'd have won there. But I guess to do it and do all the things that we did achieve in that season is a great feat. But just we definitely was the best team in the league that season. I didn't get to say it before. But no, I think it's great what we did that season, and to end it on the last game of the season is just magical. And obviously, no thanks to Mr. Bond.
About time, some credit.
Yeah, I think going back that season, I think the JPT, although we didn't win, there's a competition where you've just got a free hit, and it didn't really matter. It weren't the playoff final. It weren't something that dictated us. It was a free hit for us to go there, enjoy the experience. You know, some of the lads hadn't played at Wembley before. It was probably my second or third time there anyway. and it's an unbelievable experience. It's a great, and it was in the JPT. We were the underdogs. We had nothing to lose. We went there, but obviously everyone at that point, national newspapers were all over us. We weren't just a League Two team. We were a top football team who had a proper philosophy, a proper way of playing football. And teams that were coming up against us, especially at our level, we'd a lot of the time we'd beat them before we'd even gone on the pitch because they knew much about us. But when we were up against the Swanseas and the Brentfords, and we're out playing some of these top teams, it was it was just all part of it. I thought, like I say, the Wembley one was a free hit. The other cup competitions, we didn't use massive numbers of players either. So I remember, I think I must have played 53, 54 games that year. I think Cirque wrapped up nearly 60 games.
Yeah.
When it was, you look at that these days, and sports scientists are trying to pull you out because they're scared of injury and this, that, and the other. We just had a core group of players. We played a lot of the games, so it was. But I really enjoyed this season. I wouldn't change anything. It'd have been nice to obviously have got the league wrapped up a lot earlier, but I would never change anything in that season. I loved every game. I loved every minute of it.
You mentioned Sheffield United then. Does it surprise any of you three to see George and Lunny playing at that level?
No.
Nah, that's it.
No. Top quality players, yeah.
I remember speaking to Baldock, and I used to always call him the fake Baldock because his brother was in the Premiership at the time when he was at Oxford. And he used to say, he used to say to me, you'll see. I said, keep saying that, you'll see. He used to say that to me, and he's in the Prem now. And Lunny, I seen him not too long ago, and he's built like an ox, I swear. He's as big as me now, I swear. But he can obviously run. He's got the engine and that. And what a season he's having. He scored how many goals from midfield? He never used to score many at Oxford. He used to always be a wonder goal, if anything. And he's added that to his game, and that's the difference from, if you can add something to your game, and he's obviously added goals to his game, it's just took him to a different level, man. So credit to those two, and they were in that squad, and it's a pleasure to play with them, man, because they're top players.
Yeah, going back to your question, Jack, I think that hindsight's a wonderful thing. Yeah. At this point, Luton hadn't done it, Sheffield United hadn't done it, and I think the thing that stopped us there was the ambition of the football club. I think the ambition of the football club probably wanted to sign better caliber players, and I don't think that was through a lot of the people. I just thought that the ambition of the football club of wanting to get to the Championship and wanting to find better players was probably ultimately what cost a lot of people there. I think personally, looking back, I knew that I blew my own time up at Oxford. It was my own fault why I left Oxford. I couldn't last 90 minutes. My fitness was never. I thought I was too comfortable at the club after being so successful over a couple of years.
Yeah.
There was that many things. I remember Scott and Prox and everyone saying to me, just get on there and do half a minute. Just do half an hour. Just do a fat burn. And I was like, yeah, go on then. But knowing I was still going to play on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But I'd only play for 70-odd minutes. Oh, fucking hilarious. I played for 70-odd minutes and blow up. And then I'd be running in treacle for a while. So I don't blame anyone else apart from myself for the reasons that I left Oxford. And it was never on bad terms with anyone, the manager. I respected what he said and his opinion. And to be honest with you, it gave me a kick up the arse. And that's what made me go on to try and get fitter. And when Bondi seen me the last time he seen me, I think I had a 3-pack. Was it 2-pack? I don't know.
That was 3.
Yeah. It might have only been for a couple of weeks, but I had abs. And I haven't seen them since I was 9.
Hello, Robert. How are you?
Who's that?
What am I hearing?
Everyone, when we're getting serious and when we're discussing things, Chris just throws someone else in.
Yeah.
And then we start talking about shit again.
Hiltz has been off camera. Hiltz has been in the waiting room for an hour now. I'm not letting him in.
Macca was getting really deep then.
And well, when I come in, I heard you. I was thinking, oh, I'll be quiet for a bit, and then I'll.
Somebody ask a proper question. Get them going again. Jack or Kath, ask a proper question. And
I can't remember where we were.
I've only got one question left from Twitter. The other page were all for Jake, and he's not bothered turning up. So,
kid's birthday. That's hard.
It's his kid's birthday. We'll let him off.
Prioritised his family, I suppose that's allowed.
I got a question. Let me ask some questions.
Oh, okay.
When you lot got promoted that year, yeah? What year was that? That was
15, 16.
15, 16. What was the hardest away game? Because there's a few away games that year that looked tricky on paper. Which was the toughest?
Yo, I'd say, I don't know, actually.
I didn't enjoy
Bristol,
Dagenham and Redbridge.
Bristol Rovers. I didn't like going Bristol Rovers, you know. That was a tough place, man. Is that when Rufy scored the wonder goal?
He scored his worldie there, didn't he? Yeah.
That was on Sky.
Yeah, I didn't really like. I think Bristol Rovers was a tough place, man, to go to. I don't know. They've got like a slant on their pitch as well. I don't know. It's quite an old-fashioned type ground, isn't it? And you know, is that for me? I'd say Bristol Rovers. Guys, Mullins, Macca.
I just remember that Dagenham and Redbridge away game. Coldest I've ever been in my life. I think we won 1-0. I hated that. Rufy scored it. Yeah, I just remember that game. Rufy was about 20 minutes. He weren't bad, was he? He was alright.
I enjoyed the Notts County. Was it Tuesday night 4-1?
No, but it's not. Is that the hardest game, no, Macca?
Yeah, man, that was hard. And then we just whacked them down.
4-1. No, the 4-2 game where they kept coming back.
Yeah, that was it. 4-2.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They went 2-1 up, didn't they? And then
and then we scored 2 late. Yeah. Cal scored. I think this little winger wearing number 11 scored.
What about Newport away?
I was just mentioning that before, Bundy. I think that was when we got beat to Luton, and then we went to Newport and drew 1-1. Yeah. We managed tonsillitis a little bit. It was a bit sore.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And then I came back in and we won all 3. Went to be fair.
Yeah. What was those bits where you had to prepare for it? Like, obviously, you prepare us for the games. Who was you thinking away from home? Like, shit, this one's hard. So, you can remember.
Yeah.
You know,
Chris isn't editing any of this. No, forget it.
3-hour podcast.
It's an easy one for me to say, but because they were like, they were just like a team of men, Northampton,
Yeah, I said the same.
They were a team of men, and it was. I never liked going to Bristol Rovers. I haven't liked going there since, like Chey said, but just Northampton that year, they always seemed to.
They just found a way to win every game.
Found a way to win, and it was so hard to prepare for them because they didn't have a form, like a way of playing.
The style, yeah.
I remember that season you lot went up, because obviously I always look out for Oxford from there anyway. So when you lot went up, I think it was like a match of the day or something that evening when you lot must have been partying, and I think it was Clinton Morrison.
That was it, yeah.
He said something like, Oxford are the best team in the league, hands down. But obviously, I can't remember who the presenter was, turned around and said, but Northampton finished top of the league by so many points or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I've played against both teams and Oxford are the best team in the league. That's what he said.
Oh, we've been through this already. It's because you didn't jump in earlier.
Oh, am I late?
Yeah, you're late.
We've got hours.
I'm just saying from my point of view, when man was just living my life and I turned the TV on, Captain, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Now, just to touch on that quickly, it was just basically, no doubt they were a good side. They were very experienced. They had all the League 2 experienced players, team of men, as Bondi said, as Macca said. But I felt that we were a better footballing side, and I felt that our team was the best in the league. I feel the reason why they probably were ahead of us, or by so many points, we played so many games. We've done so well in the FA Cup. 5th round of FA Cup against. We got knocked out by Blackburn, I think it was, the following round, because we beat Swansea. And then we got to the finals of the JPT. So, I remember the staff and the gaffer at the time, Michael Appleton, he used to take every game serious. So he used to use cup games as momentum to get us results in the league. So he was one of those managers that, you know, any competition that we was in, he wanted to win, and he was serious. Whereas you do see it with other managers, other teams where they'll rest players in the JPT because the total focus is on the league. So, I mean, with the amount of games that we played in comparison to Northampton, I think we played a lot more games than them. So, you know, if we would have solely focused on the league, we would have pissed it easy.
I think when you hang your boots up in years to come, the chance to play at Wembley, you can't turn it down. So I think Michael was justified in focusing on getting to Wembley in that competition, wasn't he?
Want to talk on that?
No,
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah. Go on, Mac. Sorry, mate. Go on, bro.
But I think it was just he instilled this winning mentality in the whole football club, whether it's in training, whether it was in reserve games, JPT. He just had that winning mentality, and it rubbed off on us. And ultimately, it was a great season. But I don't think that you can, having played in teams before and after where they half-heartedly throw and make changes, and I think it's all sports scientists with amount of games and rest of people and all this. I just think that we had a relatively small group. Everyone had to play their part, and we wanted to win every game. And winning games, you can't substitute anything for that winning mentality. You can't get bored of winning, and he instilled that into us. And like I say, that was a massive part in us being successful.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say, because Johnny, Chey, and Alex don't play for Oxford anymore, unfortunately. But what was it like emotionally to be leaving the club? Like, on a serious note, like was it tough to do? Was it quite emotional? Obviously, Chey went up to Wigan and play a higher standard, so it was probably an easier decision for you. But
yeah, you want to go first?
Go on, Dunk, you go.
I can go. Yeah. So for me, it was weird because I'll be honest with you. I think I didn't really want to speak out on it at the time because I didn't think it was wise to do so. You know, certain things happen at the club, and it's better for it to just stay in the club. But I feel like there was opportunity for me to get my contract sorted, and this happens at every club, by the way. And I just think it just got left too late. And when it gets left too late and then other clubs start to get interested, now my head's turning because, bigger clubs or not necessarily big, but clubs that are in higher division or clubs that are, just missed out on getting promoted to Championship or just missed out there. They start talking, aren't they? So, ultimately, I want to try and get to the highest.
What Chey said is he wanted a contract earlier, but then he didn't, and then he was on a free in the summer, and Wigan wanted to give him some additional
in the P-Dems. Go on, give me the P-Dems.
Listen, on a serious note, like I said, things happen and things change in football very quickly, and that's why it's important when you do get into talks, you need to try and sort contracts and tie it down straight away. Because once you leave it and you think, oh yeah, no worries, we'll sort it out. And don't get it twisted. I was trying to pressure to get the contract done because I was thinking, well, I want to stay here. It's a good club. I think we're going in the right direction. But then ultimately things do come into it. I'm not going to lie about it. Money does come into it, and also ambition as well. So I want to get to the top. I'm still got ambitions to try and get to the Premier League. Every kid's dream is to get to the Premier League. And if there's a route that I think that it might be a bit more easier or a way of me getting there a bit sooner than later, then I'm going to take that. And I didn't really want to speak on that, like at the time, because I think that one, I don't want to discredit the club. I don't want to discredit the people who were working there. And it's not just, that's not the gaffer. That it goes higher up. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to discredit anybody at the club, but ultimately I didn't want to speak on it, and I got a bit of slack from it. rightfully so. People have said, you know, snake, etc. But ultimately, I wanted to get to the. I'm trying to get to the top. And
I think it's
you know,
important to remember also, like, professional sports are business, and I'm a professional cricketer myself, and you see your body and yourself as a tool. You try and you don't just cash in for the sake of it. You got to see what's best for your career. But if someone comes in for you and where you are currently, you do feel a bit more wanted somewhere else, you know you're going to be prioritised as well. And if it's a stepping stone for your career, it's a no-brainer. So I think if people are clued up with that, they'll completely understand. I know the supporters are still massive fans.
Yeah, I think it's easier to, you know, to speak about it on it now, because I think, you know, I still get a lot of love from Oxford
Get off your
fans.
chest, mate. Say what you feel.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of love from Oxford fans, and you know, it's a special club to me. You know, it's a club that brought me into the Football League, so I'll always be thankful of giving me that opportunity, and to have success with the club. I'm always going to be thankful, and I've met a few players, I've met friends, and I'm happy that I've played for Oxford. But ultimately, it wasn't the right time to speak on that, because you know, it's also, I respected people's decisions. I respected, you know, everybody wants to do the best for them. Do you know what I mean? The best for the club or the best for myself, and it's a part of business. But it was a bit weird me leaving. You know, I had friends there, and you know, I wanted to continue with the club, but things happen, and we move in it. We move. We move.
When I left the club, I was absolutely devastated. Yeah. I thought I was going to be at that club for the rest of my career. I see myself being there. I said to my family, we were looking to buy a house just before that January. I think before I left, I played 30 games that season. So it wasn't like I was in and out. And the manager basically came up to it. This is probably the regret I had there is, he said to me that I weren't going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. He didn't want me to be unhappy around the place being there. I think because I was one of the bigger characters in the dressing room. I never ever wanted to leave. Chloe, you are fucking kidding.
What's going on?
Chloe wants a charger. Yeah, I never ever wanted to leave the club. I see myself being there for so long, and when he said that I wasn't going to be one of the first, I think my ego probably got in the way. And rather of, you know, trying to battle for, I should have stayed. In my opinion, looking back now, I wish I'd have stayed for that 6 months and got my head down, like they've already been telling me for the past 6 months before that, to start, you know, getting fitter and stronger and doing what Scott Daly was telling me to do what Props was telling me to do. Because, you know, me and my family, we were settled there. We were looking to buy a house. We wanted to start our home there. And yeah, still to this day, I think I made a mistake in leaving in that January. I think I had 2 or 3 days to find a new club. And yeah, I definitely should have stayed. And for 6 months, I should have really put everything into trying to get to where the manager and the sports science staff wanted me to get to.
Fair enough. Very honest.
Oh, well, she didn't answer that one.
You are, Chris?
You didn't answer that one.
Oh no, I think I think first thing I was obviously gutted when I knew I wasn't going to get another contract. But I guess looking back at in hindsight, as the season was going on, you know, I guess I spoke to the manager a few times and things didn't materialise. But I think with football, I think, you know, you're in a little bubble with the season and you sort of believe going on. And the end of the day, the ultimate goal was to get promotion. We got it. But it did hurt for me. I would say, I think my old man said to me after I left Oxford, I don't know if maybe a little light went out of me within football in terms of something. I think that was the one that hurt me more in terms of football. I mean, things happen in football. You have to accept it. It's part and parcel of the game. But that looking back at it now I've finished, that was the best time that I've had. The best group of people that I've worked with, minus Bundy. You know, because he was hard to on a daily basis. No, but it was great. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. But as I said, football's football. You know, its decisions are made, and as Chey said before, it's a lot higher up than certain people think. And you just have to accept it and move on. And I do look back at it with a great amount of fondness. And I said, I just tried to put it in a box. We had a hell of a time. As the boys have said, we was very professional in terms of when we worked hard. But it was just sort of having a group of winners that knew how to enjoy themselves as well. And I can't stress that point enough, how professional we was. But on the flip side, we knew when it was time to relax and let our hair down. We certainly did. But I think ultimately it comes down to certain people on computers can highlight that I wasn't that quick anymore, or my backside was getting a bit bigger. You know what I mean? if Bondi wants to say anything. But no, to be honest, I couldn't run when I signed for Oxford, and I certainly couldn't run when I left. So I've done all right to last as long as I did.
It didn't take a professional analyst to work that bit out, by the way.
No, you're not wrong, Chris. You're not wrong. But I'll take that one on the chin. So
I was never needed to sprint. He was always in the right place.
Don't try and bat me up now. It's too late now. You used to tell me I was the best defender in the conference when we was in League Two. That's how bad
listen, we've gone on for an hour and a half now, and Bondi's beard's grown magnificently during that time. So we better leave him to do his personal grooming and stuff. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank Kath and Jack for the questions as usual. Hawley and Bondi as special guests, but you three Wallies, stay in touch, won't you? Come back and see us.
Of course. Definitely. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for coming, guys.